Hey, what is going on, everybody? TG here, back with another video. Thought I'd update you guys on the portfolio and explain to you why I believe that investing in Chinese tech companies right now is a very good play. I'm going to go over all of this and more. But before we start, if you guys could like and subscribe, that would mean a ton to me. Also, Discord, link in the description below if you want to join. Totally free. We call out plays. Some guys in there making sick 50% gains on some of the calls that they made today. Great job overall, but let's just jump right into this video. First off with the portfolio, we are at all-time highs now, which is pretty awesome. $121,721. Crazy to think, you look at this a year ago today, and this was in like the 30s. And we've added some, obviously, but we've made a lot of money from this, and we are doing very well because of it. And that's despite my main position, BABA, actually performing so bad. Overall, I'm actually down on BABA, because it has not performed well at all. But that's one of the reasons why I'm so optimistic, because our account is at all-time highs, despite our number one performing stock, or number one heavily concentrated stock, performing the worst. So pretty interesting that we are at that despite that, but that's just making smart plays, hedging yourself as always, and doing what I think is the best. So first off, let's look at the Chinese Internet ETF. This tracks all of the top internet companies in China. As you guys can clearly see, not having a good day, month, 6-month, year to date, and only barely up 5.3% in the past year, despite China growing a lot. And the Chinese companies as well. The two biggest companies in China are Tencent. And if we look at Tencent, Tencent has not performed well either. It's barely up 1.7% year to date, up about 15.8% in the year, but it's really struggled to perform, and it is down almost 10% from highs. Or just that's in the past month, pardon me, down over 25% from highs. And the second biggest company in China is Alibaba. And Alibaba has just performed terribly. This stock is a stock that is now down over 35% from highs, despite the company growing exponentially. So it's a big head scratcher to a lot of investors, including Charlie Munger, who disclosed that it's his third biggest position. Charlie Munger co-runs Berkshire Hathaway with Warren Buffett, if you guys did not know. But Chinese companies have really been, taking a beating recently. We've also seen this with companies like JD, the other e-commerce play in China, has just not been really performing year to date. Down 15% year to date, and down about 31% from highs, 32% from highs. We're seeing this with a lot of companies. Baidu as well, off pretty decent amount from highs as well. The stock was at one point, 354, is now at almost 50% from highs. And you must be arguing, oh, maybe China's economy is struggling. Their GDP is flying. It's continuing to fly since the COVID crash, and we haven't even had numbers from 2020 yet. If you go ahead and look at China's economy, it's actually grown 18.3% in the post-COVID comeback. GDP numbers as well, biggest jump in GDP since China started back in 1992. So, this is huge, that China is growing this much. These companies are growing this much. I mean, you look at BABA, you look at their revenue growth, and you see some of the growth. Obviously, last quarter they were hit with that fine. That's why they posted their first loss of all time. But, I mean, you look at quarter 4 of 2020, and you start, looking at the other quarters, that's significant growth, significant growth. Yet the company has faltered and has fallen. So I am extremely bullish on it. Obviously, it's my biggest holding in my entire portfolio. Tons of puts sold on it, tons of credit spreads sold on it. Very bullish on it. I wanted to get Tencent today, but you can't do options with Tencent, and I don't want to just buy shares outright. So was unable to do that. And I was looking at Baidu and JD, but those stocks are also up today. So it was a little hard for me to invest in a company that is up today. But, these companies' financials are very good, and they have low PE ratios and, just incredible profit margins as well. I mean, you see some of this stuff. It's just like, wow, like this last quarter from them was just absolutely incredible. Almost 191% profit margins. So I don't know. I think it's a great opportunity. to get in on Chinese companies. They have performed extremely weak, while as other companies have flown, you know. And I think it's a great time to get into it. I mean, you look at just this ETF, and you can see that it was performing extremely well, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, bam, just took a massive hit recently, despite no real news. Obviously, the Chinese government has had some issues, especially with BABA, and kind of controlling what they do and hitting them with monopoly fines. But at the same time, China also wants their companies to succeed. They want to prove that to not just themselves but to the world, that they're a force to be reckoned with, and they're one of the strongest economies in the world. So their economy is growing. We have a U.S. president who is not hard on China as hard as Trump, and that's things like tariffs and penalties imposed and delistings and stuff. These companies will not be delisted. Alibaba, Tencent, all these JD, all these good companies that follow the rules and are not making weaponry will not be delisted. So the Chinese stocks delisting is just not. It's not going to happen. These ones are delisted, but the main ones will not be. So here's what you have to do. You have to think before you act, obviously, but you also have to look at company fundamentals. And you look at some of these ones, and you look at, like, let's say Alibaba Mine. You see it has a 24 PE ratio, incredibly low, despite revenue growth of 63% year over year. And you see that, and you wonder how it is trading this low, and is it a good idea to get into it? I think it is. I genuinely think it is. And again, BABA would have been profitable last quarter had they not had that fine, and that was the reason they were unprofitable that last quarter. But the biggest fine of all time, out of the way, and I think it's a great time to get in on it. So obviously, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I have a lot of positions in BABA, and I'm going to continue to invest in Alibaba. We have a ton of our put credit spreads and all that good stuff on BABA, as well as hedging ourselves with some calls that we sold. We sold 300 calls. I don't know if we sold any other calls. We probably should have, but we only sold those calls. And, so we hedge ourselves with that, but we also have a ton of put credit spreads on it that we are going to be able to make some money from as long as BABA stays above certain prices, such as the 195s, the 205s, the 210s, the 180s, and the 205s, as well as the 210s again. So I genuinely think this is a really good idea. As you can see, we also sold some puts on BABA. We sold our 300 put that we are up just a little bit of about $624. We are down on our 250 puts that we sold, and we are down a little bit on our 230 put that we sold. So in total, we have 4 puts sold, and then a lot of put credit spreads as well. So I'm very excited to see what happens with these Chinese companies. I think it's a great opportunity to get into them. And again, putting my money where my mouth is and buying these and showing you guys that I'm doing this. We also have some put credit spreads expiring this week on BABA that we are up some on right now. We have this one for July 2nd, which is next. You get a 205. We are up about $40-something on that. And our 212.5, we are up about $90 on that as well, and $85 on that as well. So hopefully BABA will go up a little bit more tomorrow. We might even think about closing this 212.5 out for a nice little profit, but we can still get a decent amount out of it, as you guys can clearly see about that. So that's the strategy I'm doing. I think it's a great time to get into Chinese companies. I do want to know your guys' thoughts on all of this as well. Kathy Wood actually did buy some BABA yesterday. She bought about 7,200 shares. If you guys know who Kathy Wood is, she owns ARK. They went ahead and bought some BABA yesterday. They understand that China's economy is Chinese stocks are really good to buy right now, and that the Chinese economy has recovered extremely fast and is doing very well and not dealing with the same inflation that the U.S. is dealing with. So again, a lot of factors to go over, and I know I talk fast, so please, if you have any questions at all, feel free to talk to me, ask me anything. I'm always going to hear for you guys. So again, you can contact me in the comments if you want. Discord, I'd love to talk to you guys there. It's a lot easier for me to talk on Discord or Instagram DM. So anyways, guys, hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you guys are doing great in the market. All the indices today really roared, pretty high at the Dow up 0.2%, S&P closing at another record high, 0.5%, NASDAQ hitting all-time highs as well, up 0.79%. So pretty wild day today, guys, but I hope you guys did good and can't wait to hear from you soon. So thank you so much for everything. I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.